A geopolitical shift is taking place in the world around us, and it could alter the balance of power for decades to come. A clandestine but crucial military triangle is taking shape among Turkey, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, which is being billed as Islamic NATO. The seriousness of this alliance can be gauged from the fact that it will operate on the lines of NATO's Article 5, meaning that an attack on one country will be considered an attack on all. To be sure, this is not a new idea. Similar alliances were formed in the past, but all eventually collapsed. Aman Kumar Himanshu examines whether this latest move at forging a new alliance will survive or meet the fate of its predecessors.
Turkey says that it is in advanced talks to join a Saudi Arabia-Pakistan security arrangement that mirrors NATO's collective defense framework. Bloomberg News Agency reported that Turkey and Saudi Arabia share a long-standing concern over Iran, while Pakistan's border with both Afghanistan and India have flared up over the past year. The proposed alliance brings together three distinct pillars of power. Saudi Arabia would give the financial backing and strategic heft to fund the defense initiatives. Pakistan would contribute its nuclear deterrent and ballistic missile capabilities, positioning itself as the only Islamic nuclear power. And Turkey would offer operational military expertise and a rapidly growing defense industry. Turkey's involvement is particularly significant, given its membership of the transatlantic NATO alliance. It hosts the alliance's second largest military after the US. The idea of a so-called Islamic NATO gained traction last year after Egypt floated a NATO-style joint task force at the emergency summit of the Arab League and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Around the same time, the Gulf Cooperation Council reaffirmed a clause that requires states to treat an attack on any member as an attack on all. Iraq's Prime Minister Mohammad Shia al-Sudani has expressed support for a collective approach to regional security. The question is, why does Turkey want to join the pact, given that it is already a member of NATO? Turkey could be looking for insurance amid uncertainty over US President Donald Trump's commitment to the NATO alliance. It also seeks a growing strategic overlap with Saudi Arabia and Pakistan across West Asia, South Asia, and parts of Africa. Several other factors are driving the momentum behind the bloc. One is the rising doubt over US's willingness to maintain traditional security guarantees. Another is the intensification of regional crisis. Israel's surprise strike in Qatar's capital Doha targeting Hamas leaders has pushed many in the Islamic world to rethink how they define allies and adversaries. And then there are shared strategic interests. Turkey, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have shared concerns over Iran. For now, they prefer diplomacy over military confrontation. But the shift highlights how fast the region's political landscape is changing. The new alliance is already seeing practical military cooperation. Turkey is constructing corvette warships for the Pakistan Navy. It has modernized many of Pakistan's F-16 fighter jets. Furthermore, Ankara is sharing advanced drone technology with both Riyadh and Islamabad and has invited them to participate in its current fifth-generation fighter jet program. But some analysts remain skeptical that a fully integrated Islamic NATO will ever materialize. They argue that a rigid NATO-style alliance is unrealistic because it might tie Gulf states to regional wars that do not directly serve their national interests. The idea of a regional defense alliance is not new. Multiple attempts have been made since the Second World War to create NATO-style security structures in West Asia. In 1950, the Arab League member states signed a defense pact whose language closely mirrored NATO's Article 5 when it comes to collective self-defense. Around the same time, Britain tried to integrate regional states into NATO's orbit through the so-called Middle East Command and later the Middle East Defense Organization, both of which ultimately failed. In 1955, Iraq and Turkey launched the Baghdad Pact, officially known as the Middle East Treaty Organization. It was later joined by Iran, Pakistan and the UK. Yet the pact struggled to function and began to unravel when Iraq withdrew in 1958 before dissolving entirely in 1979. Parallelly, similar efforts continued in the Gulf. The Gulf Cooperation Council has worked towards military integration since 1982, starting with the creation of the Peninsula Shield Force. In 2000, it adopted a NATO-style collective defense clause, which was institutionalized through a defense council. But alliances in the region have routinely faltered under stress. The Arab League failed to agree on collective action during the conflicts in Lebanon in 1982, Libya in 1986, Kuwait in 1990, and Iraq in 1991, and again in 2003. The concept resurfaced again in December 2015 when Saudi Arabia announced a 34-nation Islamic military coalition to combat terrorism. While the announcement generated headlines, the organization never developed into a functioning alliance with real command and control mechanisms. Still, the persistence of these coalition initiatives speaks to a recurring strategic logic. Faced with shared threats and eroding confidence in external protectors, West Asian states continue to explore military coordination and mutual defense, even if past experiments have struggled to survive contact with political reality. Aman Kumar Himanshu's report for DD India.